objects that would be worth zooming in on?
Is that object diagram?
Yeah, can we zoom in on the left side of that debris pile?
Yes.
Where those dark pieces were coming out of the edge?
Pilot,
About 10 o'clock.
watch lead.
About 10 o'clock.
Go ahead, watch
Yeah,
it.
about 10 o'clock. The black
Okay, I see it there.
material above the lasers.
Yeah.
I did see an arcuate piece of black material just above this collection that we're illuminating with the lasers, and it looked arcuate, so I wondered if that was another piece of the tire. But a closer look will certainly be helpful.
Okay, video.
Yeah, we're thinking, though,
Go
that
in
that
there.
tire isn't part of the
I think-
plane anyway.
Oh, you think not?
Yeah, no, they, someone on shore already mentioned
okay.
that, yeah.
Okay.
One more.
Yeah, you can go in more. So zipper.
Shirley, can you confirm exactly where we are relative to the target you have for Juliet? Because I just plotted out a position where we are, and it shows that we're still 80 meters away from where I've got them on my map.
Stand by,
See that
Chris.
little tag on that?
Yeah, we're saying, yeah, well, I see that tag. We'll go in and look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
FT.
Maybe a bag or zipper
Is
or
that full
snap
zoom
or
video?
something.
It is max
Yep,
zoom.
there's
Okay.
the letters
Got it.
F and T on it, on the upper right.
Possibly part of the life raft.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like
Good
an A
guess.
before the F
good
and
guess.
T.
Okay. Can you come wide, videos?
Say wide.
Yes, wide.
On the B-29, the life rafts were stored sort of above the engineer's
Straight
compartment.
to the
There
right
were
lasers.
two, and they were...
Say again, video?
About that section above and right of lasers.
Yeah, that looks like a row of
And they were
gauges.
accessible from the
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, contact
So
approaches.
the idea was that the crew would get out of the airplane and then access the life rafts from outside the aircraft. There were two big
You wanna
hatches
go
that
in
they
on it?
would pull open and pull the life rafts out from right where the wings joined the fuselage on the tail end.
Dave, could you hold on just a second? We need to go back to that object, and then we'll let you explain because you're doing a really good explanation. But we need to go back to that object, please, and go above that,
Above the life raft.
above the life raft piece.
Did you hear that,
Go ahead,
Carl?
Dave.
Yeah, we were looking at...
But what I was saying is that on the B-29, the life rafts were accessible from outside the aircraft. So
What
there
are
were
we
two
looking for over there?
compartments over the wing at the back end of the wing where
If you could get
right on the
clarification, then I'll
fuselage.
be able to set up...
And they opened from the
properly?
outside, and the crew would they would ditch the aircraft and then climb up on the aircraft, open
Okay.
the hatches, and then pull out the life rafts from inside.
At the right
so if
end?
that is a piece of the life raft, first off, it's pretty small
Okay.
for the life rafts that I understand were carried on the B-29, but it looks like it could be. So, but it's all in the same area on the plane.
Okay, so any pointers? Are we going back to this label?
Okay, so in this area, where specifically would you like to look again? So we were in that area where the label was. Can you give me some specific directions about exactly where you would like to get a closer look, please?
Right, the section right above the piece we were looking at that may have been the compartment the life raft was in, that metal piece. Right above it, there was some dark material, multi-component material. I'd like to get a zoom in on that. I'm going to have to go left a little further.
Okay.
Okay, video, want to come in partial here? Yeah. We'll come in and see what we can see. Okay, hold there.
Ooh.
I'll just hold still and see what we hear. Is the object of...
So we have some items that are we're recording. We've switched to a broader view for now.
Okay, want to come out a little bit, video? That's good. I was just holding still to see if there are
Well,
any...
Dave and Jeremy, it does sound like we may have the forward fuselage section based on the features and characteristics we've seen to date.
Okay, you can go wide, video. It's all silence. Watch lead, pilot.
So, guys, we have a little bit of a discrepancy in the positions here. According to what I understand on my GIS project here, we haven't reached Juliet yet. It's a little bit different than Gary Fabian's position, and it's perhaps the way that we calculate our positions. He's using Fledermaus, and I'm using ArcGIS, but I've provided Casey to pass to Nav two positions for the two pieces that I see for Juliet that are still a ways off to the northeast. And it's something for you to consider whether you want to sit and document some more of this or whether you want to try for those. But it's probably worth a look. I think it's about 80 meters away. I'll check the distance again for the first piece.
Chris, this is shoreside at Ford Island. We are good with moving on and trying to get a better handle on the overall debris field. So far, so good. And we are interested in the other two.
Nah, I
Juliet
wouldn't bother
targets.
putting in
Thank you.
points if you could just get a rough direction.
Yes, this is Silver Spring. We're ready
if I
to
could just
move
get a
when you
direction
are.
bearing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, watch lead.
Yeah, and it was, I don't remember who it was in the chat that basically said that this is such a small pile that it most likely would not show on multi-beam, and I would agree. The position that I plotted for where we are right now really doesn't show anything at all.
Okay,
So the other pieces may be quite a bit larger. We can keep our fingers crossed.
I don't remember anything shoe-like, but I'll hit on in.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, mapping team, for
Just above that can
further
that's on the
figuring that
left
out.
edge.
Okay. Yeah.
Black item.
Okay. I'll just get down a little lower.
Okay. Watch lead pilot. Watch lead pilot.
Go ahead, watch lead.
Okay, thank you, pilot. Yeah, I think the object we would
Survey,
like
pilot.
to see is close to that can, I think.
Stand by, watch lead.
Okay.
Survey, this is pilot. Please remind shoreside that we want all points the night before, not during the dive, because it takes the navigator's attention away by plotting points. Okay. This is within 10 meters of the Juliet point we were given, so it seems good. Okay. All right, video, you want to go in partial here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, hold there, video.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a boot.
Go ahead, survey 1. No, he turned it off, the transmission, when he was talking to you.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah, I'm not on, or I guess I'm on EXRV, but yeah.
And am I zoomed out all the way, video?
yes, you are co-pilot.
Copy that. I think you might.
Pilot, you're drifting up pretty high. I'll give you a full wide view.
All right. Yeah, it's the slope here on this side. The sand is on my tail here, so I can't get as close as from the other direction. Okay, video. One more zoom here.
Okay, so stand by shoreside. We're just getting some closer imagery.
Is this what they were after?
Yes.
All right. And was there one more?
Talk about the black object above this.
One black object above. Gotcha. Okay, you can come out partial video. It does look like similar. Okay, you can go in video.
Some stitching on the right-hand corner of it. Top,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. If you come wide video. No, that'll stop transmitting to the SCS, so I can't do that.
Okay, folks on shore, do we understand that you would like to finish up here and go on to the position that Chris was suggesting might
Okay,
be
if you
the
pull out a little
actually
bit
the
further up.
primary location for the Juliet site?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, we're ready ready to move
Go
on.
ahead, Watchley.
Time. Well, you're finished.
All right. All right. Yeah, Nav, if you just get a rough direction and bearing, we can head that way. Our sonar sees 50 meters, so.
So I know it's getting quite late in some of the areas. I actually think somebody has to go and catch a plane as well. So
Right.
I wanted to want to thank
you
Hans,
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
Vandenberg
thank
for
you,
joining
Hans.
us. I want to thank Harbor Branch Group at the Exploration Command Center there for joining us there as well.
And Asako Matsumoto, thank you very much for having
Is she signing off
contributed.
also?
The additional
Yeah.
waypoint,
Is
the first
Asako
one's
leaving
the
too?
second
Oh,
waypoint we
Asako.
got.
Hate to
So
say
that
goodbye. We've
is
had some regulars joining us for every single one of our dives,
Absolutely.
and
70
really
meters
have
away.
appreciated
Much
it.
appreciated.
Yeah,
Degrees.
biologists and
170
geologists from all over the world. So it's been wonderful sailing with you.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on, let me confirm that.
That's okay. So we are
Hey, Nav, what
we're getting
direction did you
our
say was that other
navigation
one?
directions sorted out here, and we'll have to move the
107,
ship
wow.
a bit, and that'll move Sirius. For people who may be joining this dive who haven't heard previously any of our dives, the way the remotely operated vehicle is configured in terms of connection to the ship is there's a cable that goes to the Sirius vehicle, which flies above the ROV and is attached to the ROV by a 30-meter umbilical cord. So what we need to do when we want to move position a significant distance across the seafloor is we'll move the ship, and that will draw the Sirius vehicle toward whatever direction we want to go. And once Sirius moves a bit, that gives the remotely operated vehicle D2 enough slack in the 30-meter cable then to be able to move toward the object and also scan back and forth across the seafloor to look for things on the ocean bottom. We are also having a watch change among our ROV crew. And for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from NOAA's ship, Okeanos Explorer. It is America's ship for ocean exploration. We are currently in the area near Saipan, one of the islands of the Mariana Group. And the general expedition that we have been on is the 2016 Deepwater Exploration of the Marianas. And this is brought to you through important partnerships and collaborations. The mission is designed and supported by NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research. The ship itself is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine and Aviation Operations. This mission that we're on, the expedition, is part of a 3-year capstone, nicknamed Capstone expedition to address the Pacific monument science, technology, and ocean needs. And it was designed to help the resource managers better understand the deepest parts of the nation's marine monuments. Some of the key partners here working toward this end are NOAA's National Marine Fisheries, NOAA's Marine National Monuments Program, NOAA's Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program, and NOAA's National Center for Environmental Information. And aside
watch
from,
leads.
we're
With
hearing
you.
from our pilot. Hang
Yeah.
on.
Yep, so we just had a shift change. And we're just Let's wait for nav to get settled in, and we'll do our
we will
introductions.
be introducing our new watch for this afternoon.
And who are you?
I forgot to say. Shirley goes, "Who are you?"
Yes, we haven't been.
Goodness gracious! Yes, I'm Patty
Interesting how you
Fryer.
get a
Actually, I'm the
shadow there.
geology
Yeah.
lead
That
for
piece
this
sticking up
leg
off the
of this
bottom there.
expedition, and I'm
Yeah.
from the
Wait, this
University
one
of
here?
Hawaii.
Yeah, that's just the
Hawaii
shadow
Institute
of this
Geophysics
thing
and
sticking up, I
Climatology, and I'm
believe. Yeah.
enjoying,
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
as ever,
Lack
by
of data.
my
Yeah.
other half of my brain, Shirley Pomponi.
Hi, I'm Shirley Pomponi. I'm from Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute at Florida Atlantic
Sean.
University.
Is the ship
and
moving already?
Director
or?
of the NOAA Cooperative Institute for Ocean
Curious.
Exploration, Research, and Technology. I am the biology science lead, and you may wonder why a biologist and
So
a
we wanna go
geologist
ahead and
are
start
leading
moving, right?
this
Is that the
last
plan?
dive. Actually, for the
We'll check
previous
with Washington,
21
yeah,
dives,
once
we've
you
been
switch out.
doing biological and geological exploration of the Mariana
various
Trench
parts
National- yeah,
of it, right?
of the monument. However, we have quite a distinguished group of experts in underwater heritage sites, in aviation history, who are joining us shoreside, and that group is led by Frank Cantellis, who's
All right, so you are
at the
facing
Office of
060.
Ocean Exploration Research.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah, I was
hearing a
just
few
turning to
people
look at you
who,
there,
who have
but
called
I'll
in.
get back on it.
Hey, watch lead. This is pilot.
Okay, stand by.
So, as far as I understand, we've got a couple of other waypoints at 060. Do we want to go ahead and put in a ship move and get going that way, or
Yes.
are we done here with this? Okay. All right, Nav. Why don't you get us a bearing and
Okay,
range?
so sorry for the interruption. We
To
just had
waypoint 2
a
there.
change in our ROV crew, and they just wanted to confirm that we're moving on to our
You're
next
muted, Richard, or you're not talking.
waypoint.
You got to talk to somebody. Talk to pilot or
Okay,
co-pilot.
so let me
Just click it down
see
and-
where I am
That's fine.
here.
Yep.
And as soon as
Now we
our
can hear you.
new ROV crew gets all settled,
Yep.
they'll introduce themselves.
Got you loud and clear.
So I mentioned earlier that I'm going to lower these. There we go. Let me lower that a little bit. Okay. Tinian and Saipan were major air bases during the last year of World War II, and there were B-29 bombers that were flying long-range missions to
You say
Japan.
67
So a lot
degrees?
of, many, and I'm going to say a lot of, but many aircraft were lost on takeoff and landing due to mechanical problems. And so these lost aircraft
Yep.
have a lot of significance
Nav.
to
Let's
American
get the move
history.
underway, too.
None of the B-29s that crashed in the Saipan Channel have ever been discovered until
Well,
today.
let's just
So
head to
we
the
are
waypoint.
really very pleased and proud, and can't congratulate the navigators, the archaeologists, the mappers, everyone who contributed to map out
yeah,
this
point 2 is
area, to
fine.
try and figure out what it all meant, and to pinpoint these targets. Because we landed right on
I'm
it
changing my
today.
sonar out to
So
80 meters.
really
Yeah. That's
very
good, that's good.
exciting.
Yeah,
And
let's
so
see.
what
Want me to
we're
lower your gain
what
there
we're
and
doing
try and get
during
rid of
this
some of
dive
that
is
scatter?
providing
or-
the
Sure,
first
yeah.
information on
Maybe. Let's see
aircraft
what
and aircraft
happens.
wreckage resting in deep water in the channel. We are at
Yeah, let's just put it in.
367 meters right now. So this is going to help us understand the state of preservation, what
conference contains less than 3 participants
what
at this time.
environmental conditions
If you
affect
would
the
like to
sites.
continue, press star 1.
The objectives for the dive are to identify the targets that have been discovered.
That's fine, but can we get the move in
To
at the same time?
determine, I think we can pretty well say
Okay,
that they are
yeah.
related to aircraft. We're going
see.
to try and assess what part it represents, determine the
Okay, let's
condition,
get the move in.
and characterize the marine communities of the site. And we're also collecting environmental information with a ship and ROV sensors. So during this dive, at some points in time, we've moved the video that's coming from the Deep Discover ROV to a broader view. This is, as you can imagine, a sensitive site. There were veterans on this aircraft, so we want to be respectful of that and make sure that
right, Don.
we're very respectful
Okay,
of
yeah.
what it is that
I
we're
will.
investigating.
It's like I'm
and,
marking something about
broadcasting. So hope you
50
understand
meters
all of
out there.
that.
50,
We
maybe
right
60,
now are
so
heading
we'll,
to another target that was identified on the maps as possibly having something other than the seafloor bottom and
Right.
marine life.
And what's
Right.
the time? What's the time for that? How much time will
The
that take?
interpretation of the data that were collected by mapping the seafloor is what prompted the
Can you use your
this
Excel sheet
expedition to search
on
for
the
these
left
sites.
monitor?
And special processing
see
of
at the bottom you see
some
the
of the
tag for
bathymetry
Excel.
data
Yep.
and side scan
And then,
imaging data. In other words, these would be data that give you a sense for the roughness of the seafloor, permit you to get a feel for what might be features that are projecting out of the seafloor or up from the seafloor. That could be targets
Zoom in.
of an appropriate sort.
Hold.
And so that has been done, and that was how the sites were chosen for exploration today.
Okay, let's zoom out.
Yeah, so I could briefly go over a little bit of the steps while we've got
Maybe we
a
go
little
at
bit of a transit over here.
Yeah,
me
thank
check
you,
this.
Chris.
First of all,
Survey one
there was
pilot.
information that was provided to Frank Cantellis, I believe, on the sites for the B-29 bomber crashes, at least from Navy records, I guess, or Air Force records. And then that was used to actually plan out a mapping strategy that Lindsay McKenna was involved in, and then all of those data wind up getting processed to the highest resolution possible. And then those data were then passed over to several of us who then tried various methods to see if we could find any type of targets at all. And the guy who really
do have a good
deserves
target out there. It's
all
like
of
60
the
meters
credit,
up. So
I mean, not
it's a
all the
little
credit, but
bit
the credit for finding these
towards the
particular
port from the
sites.
heading,
His name
but-
is Gary
Okay,
Fabian,
that's fine.
and he's in Texas, and
should be able to
he's
get to it.
been a wreck hunter for a number of years, and he's helped the Hawaii Undersea Research Laboratory quite a bit with finding wrecks off of Oahu. And so we got in touch with him. Frank got in touch with him and
fine,
got
yep.
him involved in
Yep.
helping out in the
And then,
search.
Richard,
and
the other thing to
it
keep an eye out
clearly
for is
paid
the
off. And Gary
depth
has some
profile on
rather
the-
unique
on the left there,
methods of
the middle column
analyzing
on your
this
screen on
type
the
of
left.
data.
Oh, right
you
there.
know, as you can well
It's open
imagine,
already.
to find
It's the
airplane
ocean
records
velocity.
from multi-beam sonar is rather remarkable. So he's quite an expert in finding these wrecks, and he really deserves
So
credit
that's
along
the-
with
that's the amount
Frank
of
and
current,
Lindsay and others, and
from
the guys
the
right
surface to the
now
bottom.
just dropping the ROV right on the plane wreckage is
And
remarkable as
so,
well.
see the scale is 0
Agreed.
to 1, or
And we
minus
thank
1 to
them
1
very much for their
meters per second.
excellent
So we've
help.
got a
Yeah, it
little bit
really
of a
points to the
south
value of partnership
current.
and partnerships and
At the
how important they
collaboration,
are.
which is
actually
Collaborations, how
pretty
important
fast
they
up,
are.
up above us, but it's pretty minimal down at
So
the
what
bottom,
we're
which is
doing
good.
now is we're
but watch
moving
out
pretty rapidly
for
to
that
the
increasing
next site
as we
that
go into the
indicates
middle of
that
the
there
rush
may
tide in the
be
next hour.
some wreckage on the seafloor.
3:45. Yeah.
What's required, of course, is that the ship moves in that direction and it draws a Sirius vehicle up above
All right, heading to Port
the
Dawn.
D2
Check out that target.
toward the target. And that gives
All right, I'll tilt up
D2
video.
the
You
slack
can
to
feel
be
free
able
brighten it
to
up,
look around
do
on the
whatever you gotta
seafloor
do.
as we approach it. And as we go along, we see something interesting, we will zoom on it
I'll do a zoom here,
Just-
just see what this is.
very briefly.
Possibly more
Debris.
some kind of debris.
This is some sort of debris.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not a rock
Piece of
or
hose
anything
there.
biologic,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course, this could be just like
Yeah,
fishing gear.
could be.
You rotate to the other side, you can see the holes in that metal piece.
Okay. Let's come out. Yep, so we are moving at 0.3 knots to get over to waypoint 2 as quick as we can. So we can stop the ship if we see something really cool, but otherwise we'll just have to kind of do snap zooms.
Right, pilot, I wonder if you could snap on that
Yep, go ahead.
larger
Video.
amount of
Survey
material.
1, do you copy?
What do you need, Richard?
Survey 1, I don't think they knew who you were talking to.
Never, you talking to Survey 1?
Survey 1, the previous navigator said I was not to put any markings on the high pack. Was that just for the position, or does that mean ship moves as well?
Wait, why are we not doing that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we need.
This was put on by hand.
Yeah, we need to. We should drop targets as we find stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, debris. Yeah.
He dropped targets on this one, and he did this one by hand.
Yeah, you can just double click it and drop a target over D2 as we find stuff. We should definitely do that. Oh, a little bit of prop wash. Back up. You can zoom in. Don't do it there. Do it in survey. Yeah.
It's partial.
So shore-based team, we are dropping.
Yeah, so just go ahead and double-click something over D2.
Navigation.
Drop a target there and say
targets
just,
on these
debris
sites, so they are being precisely
over D2.
marked. You know, on the navigation.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's zoom out.
Need to push
And
up.
if there is anything that you see as we pass over the seafloor that you'd like us to zoom on, we'll be happy to do that.
All right, I've come around.
But we
so
are
I can
moving
see
at
how we're way off.
0.3 knots, so that's relatively fast.
Okay. Sorry.
Just let me know
I would
when
recommend
you,
that if you do see
change your heading
something in
button.
your screen,
There is some,
remember that you're a little
stuff coming up on your
behind us by a few
starboard side.
seconds,
Okay.
so
On the bottom.
request as quickly as you
All
can.
right.
More debris. I can see some way down off
yeah.
here as well.
Okay.
Small pieces.
You want to snap to him? Hold there.
It will be helpful to get markers on some of this debris just to get an idea of the area it
I can
encompasses.
see something in Sirius's view.
Yeah,
there.
Frank,
Yeah,
we're
we
doing
understand.
Okay, zoom out.
Yeah, navigator is doing that.
I'll push over, see if I can catch that before.
Yeah,
There's,
before we go over you.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're doing
Snap
a
zoom.
number of snap zooms here as
Hold.
we traverse the
It looks
seafloor,
like the
heading toward the target.
direction to the target is going to be more over that
So we
way
are
towards the
capturing all
north
this
than the
information.
060. So I don't know if we want to follow the target in or go to our destination.
Well, I'm just out of the light pool.
It's
right
not
now.
the camera; it's the
Survey,
vehicle.
these
is
are
way
the
over off
DPAA folks
to
on
the
Fort
side.
Island. I just wanted to say thank you for dropping those markers on that debris, and it is a very interesting and complex debris field we seem to be looking at here.
Sorry,
so
Don, I
that
didn't
info
realize I was
helps
so
us
far
out
off.
very
Yeah,
much.
just let me
Thank
know.
you.
Yep.
Good.
You
let me
are
know if
very
you
welcome.
make major
Keep
heading
on coming.
changes.
Yeah, okay.
I thought we were still facing. I was
We
just
have
a
an
little bit
amazing,
off.
very professional crew out here, and they are on top of this, making sure this is
I'll push
all
up here.
Okay.
Well
mapped out.
documented.
Yeah, very well documented.
You know, it's kind of a. I mean, the debris field is.
It's a large
Kind of
debris.
heading more
Is there any
northerly.
chance we could get
Yes,
the
it is. And so
sonar
is the hard
screens
target
up on
that
the
we're
quad
picking up.
display
So,
again?
but there may be
Okay.
another one up ahead too.
Yeah.
As well,
That's
so you don't
happening.
know.
There you are.
All right.
All right.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's
We
great.
should
You're
keep
welcome.
going a little bit too.
Thanks, Roland. Yeah, I actually did not hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. So watch Lido. I mean, we saw a few pieces of
So,
debris further
as
off to
we're
the north,
transiting to
which is
our
why I kind of got sidetracked over there. But well, we're heading toward the waypoint that Chris had given us.
Cyclone engines
And it's
were
generally towards
notoriously
this bigger target that's up
finicky
ahead.
and,
It's about 50,
actually on startup, what
they
maybe
there.
usually would
55
do is they
meters.
would have an
Yeah,
airman
there's
stand
something coming
by
up.
with a fire extinguisher because they would catch on fire on a fairly regular basis. And so a lot of the
This is more debris.
were actually crashed
Well,
on
we just
takeoff.
noticed some debris heading more
with a
northerly
full
from
bomb load
the
and
cylinder
full fuel
wreckage.
load,
So,
they
I mean,
were
that could
hugely
mean something. It
overloaded
might
for
not.
their-
We're just telling you what we
their
believe
full
from
bomb load
the
and
cylinder
full
wreckage.
fuel load,
So,
they
I mean,
were
that could
hugely
mean something. It
overloaded
might
for
not.
their-
We're just telling you
their
what we
long
observed.
transit to targets in Japan
Yeah.
against the jet
You want to
stream.
zoom in?
And
Hold there.
so the loss of even just a single engine upon takeoff at low airspeeds would be catastrophic.
So let me interrupt for a minute. Sorry.
Many
Let me just interrupt for a second because the
runway.
the pilots are seeing more debris and artifacts in the area north of where we were,
Let's
so
zoom out.
not quite on the way to the target waypoint. So
We're
we
gonna-
just wanted to take a look at that.
Yeah, we've got one kind of hard return up
Yeah, we
ahead.
have
We're
one
gonna go check
hard
that out. I
return
mean, it's
just ahead. We're
it's
going to just
close.
check that
It's
out.
close
It's
to
very
the head.
close.
Yeah.
It's very close. We're going to just go check that out first.
So. Go to the
Sorry for
snap zone.
interrupting.
Hold there. Okay, let's zoom out. All right.
Ship's still moving, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you give him as the distance? 500?
This is 167 meters.
Oh, okay.
Distance from the stern of the ship now is 77 meters.
So I see D2 on the sonar and Sirius. And yep, pushing out. Pushing out to that target.
I'm going to go ahead and line up with that on my nose.
Okay.
How about that?
Zoom in.
Yep.
Hold there. Just garbage. More Fanta.
More garbage.
Dave and Jeremy, were you saying there's another pressure tube aft? There'll be a second tube structure?
That's right.
Nothing conclusive
No,
on
there's
D2
only one
sonar.
pressure tube on the plane. Just that the question is what end of the pressure tube were we actually looking at? And I think that we were seeing the
I'm
forward
kind of
end,
wondering
i.e.
if that
the
return
end
is the
close
Sirius
to the
frame.
cockpit in that last
Does it seem to have
the
been
large
moving?
debris pile that we were looking at
Oh,
before.
it came in a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a shadow.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll give it another couple
Yeah.
passes, see what happens.
Understand, just trying
Carl
to
had
figure out what
commented at,
distinguishing
just
structural
that's
characteristics
the,
we'd see that might
Sirius
indicate a
sonar.
tail.
Yeah,
frame,
that's why I'm bringing it
Okay.
up.
Well, could very well be.
Well, what leads me to believe at the forward end is the instrument console, which would be the engineer's console, which was right next to the
It's weird, though, with the shadow.
the entrance to the
Yeah,
tube from
that's
the
when I saw that. That's why I thought
from
maybe
the
it might not be
cockpit side.
Sirius frame, because that's a strange return.
No, for sure.
See,
Your
it's there, yeah.
hatch cover or
That might be
compartment
something
window
real.
was pretty convincing to me that looked like what it looked like in the manual illustration too.
Yeah, we're looking at the parts manual, and that's exactly what it is. We agree. He was just
It's moving
speculating what we might be able
The
to
hard
see if
target
we
is-
find the
is
tail
definitely
section, what
moving
would
in
have
pieces, so-
survived, what would be the strongest parts like
Come up a
that
bit and see what we can find on D2.
pressurized area.
There wasn't D1 back there.
Well, both ends of the bomb bay had a sort of convex disc that connected to the pressurized
Inclusive still.
tunnel that went across.
How
So
far off is that?
That was pretty,
About, let's
pretty
see,
strong,
that's
and I think that, if we could dig underneath all that
40,
debris
looks like
and
30
and
meters.
sediment,
30
that's
meters from
probably
Sirius.
down
36,
there.
37
So
meters.
at
means
the
it should
other
be-
end, at the tail end, there's
If
one
you tilt
that's
your camera up, I might be able to
pretty
show
much
you further
exactly
out.
the same as I recall. So, you would see something there, but you wouldn't see the instruments or anything like that. So at the back end, what was there was the tail gunner's
Sirius
position.
is approximately 30 meters now from the waypoint.
And also I think if I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I think it was also there was a scanner's position, and the scanner had two windows that looked out on either side, and part of the scanner's job was to monitor the engines to make sure that they didn't catch
Yeah,
on fire.
Richard,
So,
about where else was that other debris? That other
there
set
was
of debris
another
that we saw.
crew
That was the
position
first
back
one.
there as well.
Then we saw another couple pieces not too far from there.
You spoke about north of about that point.
That's great. At least we know what we might be able to see.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
right
good. I
behind us.
appreciate
But
it.
any little pieces of debris, let's
Something
mark
I
it.
was gonna look
Anything we
for
see.
if we're going to actually kind of get into the rear
So that'll help us
fuselage
get like a
section
general trend.
is that the top gunner has a pedestal that he sits on, so there's a pretty distinctive
Two
steel
black
shaft
objects
and
are probably
a
rocks.
structure there that's made it through a crash or whatever. That's kind of a distinctive feature that's just beyond the bulkhead for that aft pressurized compartment. But it would be pretty compact as well.
Yeah.
I'll push more port. Nothing obvious,
Yeah.
huh, Don?
No, the one we had like a white hot object that looked like it was moving in, but now I've lost it. Well, but that's still staying up there. That must be the Sirius frame up there.
Yeah.
Want to snap on that black?
Okay, snap. Go in. Just a piece of metal. Could be something, could be nothing. All right, zoom out. Yeah, you look at Juliet. Well, I guess that was nothing in particular. We just saw the cylinder wreckage, and then there's that debris. I mean, kind of going this way, right?
Yeah.
So slightly more north. I mean, if we get to waypoint 2 and there's nothing, maybe we head back that way eventually. All right, I'm going to push over, get right over that waypoint 2 that we got.
Well, this stuff in here maybe.
Could just be those little bumps in the
Yeah.
sediment.
Yep.
You want to gain down on the sonar some more?
Roger. Yeah.
Watch lead pilot. Yeah, we're D2's right over waypoint 2 according to the HIPAC. So we're not seeing any obvious returns on the sonar. We'll keep looking, and yeah, we'll keep looking.
Okay, so we are right over the waypoint, and we do not see any artifacts at this area, but we're going to keep looking around. Nothing is showing up on sonar either.
Right, thank you very much.
Coming back around.
Okay. I just changed scale on Sirius sonar to 50 meters.
Okay.
So there's.
Not sure if we introduced our new crew, just changed out, I guess maybe about a half an hour ago, maybe an hour ago. We have Richard on navigation. We have Dan piloting. We have Don as co-pilot. We have Roland on video, and we have Annie back here next to me doing video clipping. We have our dive supervisor, Jim, to my left as well. And they are all from the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration. GFOE is responsible for operating, maintaining, and upgrading these two remotely operated vehicles, Deep Discoverer
we got 2 waypoints
and Sirius vehicles. Our ship is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine and Aviation Operations.
Wait,
and
does
this
that mean
mission
you mean waypoint 3?
was designed and is being conducted by NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research in partnership with the Marine Monuments Program, the National Marine Fisheries Service, National Center for Environmental Information, Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program, and a number of other partnerships with academic institutions, private research foundations, local, state, and federal agencies. For the past 3 weeks and change, we've been exploring deep water areas of the Marianas Trench National Marine Monument, trying to categorize the habitats and the geology of the area. This is part of a 3-year campaign to address the Pacific science technology needs and to be able to provide this baseline information to our nation's monuments resource managers so that they can better understand and manage these both living and non-living resources. So a lot of our effort has been looking at areas where, for example, there are commercial fishery interests,
Is the ship stopped? Looked like
interest in precious corals,
Ship is stopped.
or interest in seabed
Right.
mining. So again, we've been exploring these areas. Many of these areas are ones, in fact, actually all of them are ones that have never been explored before using this technology.
We'll see.
We've discovered, I think, the first spot volcano area, and I think the only other one that's been discovered is off Japan.
Why don't you turn your
A
heading?
new mud volcano, a new hydrothermal vent community just during this leg of our expedition. Many, many, many new species of fishes, corals, sponges, you name it. A lot of different new species have been observed. We've collected a few samples. We've been able to collect samples on each dive. The geological samples are going to the Oregon State University repository. The biological samples are going to the Smithsonian Institution. And each of the, most of the biological samples, we've also taken a smaller piece, a subsample we call it. And that's being preserved in a special preservative for molecular work. They'll be analyzed by the Ocean Genome Legacy at Northeastern University. All of these data and samples will be available to the public, to the scientific community. So this is a lot different from expeditions that many of us are used to going on, where one or a few scientists propose to do an expedition. We go out, do the research, and then we have exclusive access to the data for a period of time, usually a couple of years, before it's made publicly available and we publish. This has this cruise is a lot different. And in fact, all of the cruises on board the Okeanos Explorer operate exactly the same way. The mission is planned with input from the scientific and resource management community, and we are conducting this mission on behalf of the scientific and resource management community, not on behalf of the science leads or even the shore-based team. So it's for the entire community.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Over the last couple weeks, we've been averaging about 35 to 40,000 viewers joining in each day to
if you can do it, let's do it.
Watch and listen to what we've been doing live, near real time. And in addition to that, we've had a couple dozen scientists participating from shore each day, which has made Patty Fryer and my job, I'm Shirley Pomponi, made our jobs a lot easier because I have very specific expertise in sponges, and I've learned a lot from my colleagues, my geology and biology colleagues. We're looking at something rolling across the bottom right now.
All right, watch lead. This is pilot.
Okay, stand by.
So we see something in the sonar that could be something. We just put in a 30-meter move straight towards it.
We went
it's
right
at 060 from where we're at right now.
Of both of them and zero, or we just gone through the first one?
Stand by, Chris. Let me check on that.
Yeah, I want to check out this sonar target first. I guess it'd be good to let everybody know that that third waypoint is hundreds of meters to the east of where we are now. Why don't we have Navigator measure the exact distance? But it's pretty far.
So there's a target on sonar right now that we want to go in and take a closer look at.
Yeah.
The other, stand by.
The third waypoint is 630 meters from our current position.
Okay, so the third waypoint, Chris, is that it's is like 630 meters away, so it would take quite a while to reposition the ship and go to that. But we are looking at some targets right now that the pilots have observed on sonar, so we're going to move towards those targets.
We are moving.
Great, thank you.
Okay. That could be D2.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's the frame.
Yeah.
Can I request the sonar screen to be enlarged on
Yeah, this could just be a little depression.
Let me check on that. I think they can.
I just made it full screen on stream 3.
Well, if it's
Ask
a
and it shall be
depression, maybe
given.
a scour with something in it. You know.
Sure.
Pilot, maybe you can describe the sonar to shore. It's currently on stream 3.
Don, you can do that if you want.
So talk on OKEX.
OKEX. Okay, what we're looking at on the sonar screens here, the one on the left-hand side is from the D2 vehicle, sending an acoustic signal out through the water, and any reflected object, you know, any object on the seafloor reflects that acoustic signal, comes back to the receiver on the D2 vehicle. We're looking at a fairly short range there, about 50 meters out. Some of the stuff you see on there is actually shadows caused by equipment that is on the vehicle, but then the bright yellow to white spots could be objects, but of course the sonar will return seafloor as well as targets on the bottom. What we're doing is trying to follow in. We saw what looked like a shadow, which was the lack of data caused by something sticking up off of the seafloor and moving in towards that.
Ship has stopped moving.
Okay, thanks, Nav.
The screen on the left-hand side is the Sirius sonar, much higher off the bottom, looking out a little bit further. And again, we're looking for that return signal.
On the right-hand side.
Well, let him finish, Roland.
Yep.
Oh,
Sirius is
sorry.
right.
Just let him finish. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just pointed out that the Sirius is the sonar that is on the right side of that image there. I did say left, but anyway, that is the Sirius sonar, the one on the right side, and we're moving in on targets of opportunity. We're in the area of the wreckage according to the surveys that were done, so now we're just doing the fine detail and trying to find the pieces to match that.
And can you tell us
do you
on
want to turn
each
your
of
heading
the
to
sonar
starboard?
displays, what are the
Maybe something
range
else over
rings
here.
on each of the displays?
Yes, we'll do that.
Let's just take a look at how hard that return is.
Watch lead pilot.
Go ahead, watch lead.
Yeah, can you explain to us the different distances between those rings that we're seeing on the sonar screen? What's your range there?
On the left sonar, that's D2, that's 50 meters, and on the right, it's Sirius, and it's also 50 meters.
Okay.
So
okay, so 50 meters on both.
We've got some.
In between the rings,
Yep.
50 meters for both.
That doesn't look like an airplane, though.
Total
No, it
diameter
doesn't.
of the rings
Oh, the
is
total is
50.
the total is 50.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry
so
about
each
that.
ring is 12.5 meters.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You want to turn your heading and
Yep.
I'll, I don't know. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, it looks like something. Looks like a return. It's like 090. Now we've got to move
090.
in now.
It's the ship has stopped.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
I'm
should
not going to have
probably-
a tether there.
Yeah.
Well, watch lead. This is pilot.
Yeah, go ahead, pilot.
So, are we confident that that target 600 meters away is something we want to go to? I'm not sure where that waypoint came from since we just got it a few minutes ago. But I mean, I'm not seeing anything here. We haven't seen anything around the waypoint 2 we were given. We did notice that the debris field was moving more in a northerly direction from the cylinder wreckage that we saw earlier. I don't know if because it's going to take us over an hour to get to waypoint 3, even at our fastest
All right,
speed.
stand by. I'm getting some directions from the shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Please
That
repeat
sure
from
looks
shore.
like something there. That's
Think
awful
so?
white hot, isn't it?
I was just trying to
Could be a
get an
ripple.
idea of
Could be looking at sand
how
ripples.
much of this area we're going to look for, to look at, and if we're still seeing any
targets on the sonar.
Yeah, we're looking at some targets on the sonar, but it doesn't look like there's anything there. It doesn't look like there's anything there. So, pilot asked us how sure we were about the other waypoint that was given to us. That's about 600 meters away, because it's quite far. So, how sure are we? Because where we were a little while ago and looking at some of the artifacts, the debris, looked to them, to the pilots, as though there was something more in a northerly direction from those artifacts.
Cylinder area.
No, that was while you were away.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
It was a different way. Yeah. So,
All right.
yeah.
It's just what?
Might know a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which target was 600 meters away? That wasn't the Oscar target, was it, or was this something else?
It's one. Yeah, that's. Go ahead.
So I'm at 2 meters altitude now.
No, I was just saying it's not Oscar. That's quite far away. Chris had found a target, and I was just trying to get some information.
Kind of just looks like sediment to me.
About
what do you think, Don?
how reliable he thought
From this altitude, yeah, it does. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was those white
thanks,
targets
Frank.
were
Our
definitely
pilots are asking
shape,
us the
and
same thing, because it'll take quite a while to get there, and so we'd like to just get some more intelligence on.
I'm a little confused because the farthest target should have only been 275. Well, the largest target should have only been 100 and some odd meters away from where we were when we started out. So I can double check my numbers that I gave you, but maybe we can.
Well, that's only.
Okay, we're checking, Chris.
30 meters.
We're checking on this, Chris.
Sure.
Okay. While we wait.
Go ahead. Sure. Why not?
Go
Get
ahead,
it
survey.
moving. See this here?
Yeah. Well.
And it disappears. And you're not turning. You got.
I'm off stick now.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Sure looks like stuff.
The first one I've got is.
Okay, should we check it out?
Why not?
So it's like 050 from here.
150441 and 1454219.
Dropping in altitude.
I'd say get them moving while they're waiting. Yeah.
That's taken directly off the
Okay,
high
Nav.
pack.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you're busy over there, but can we get a quick ship move?
It looks like decimal. Yep, seconds. Hold on, where are we? Yep, because there's an 8 in there, yes.
Kind of.
Pilot wants me to put a move in survey, if that's okay.
Yeah. Can we just do what do you think?
It was sitting out at about 30 meters.
30 meters?
Yeah.
Let's do a 40-meter move at
050 or 055, something like that.
Yeah. Let's just 050.
Okay.
050. 3 knots?
Yeah,
3 knots.
0.0 decimal 3.
Want to get there fast. Bridge, this is Nav.
And at least then we'll know if we see returns like this again.
Could I have another move, please?
Ignore them.
Yeah.
The range 40 meters, bearing 050, and a speed, if possible,
Go ahead,
3 knots.
We see one return just up ahead. We're just going to go check that out, make sure it's nothing, and then is the consensus to head back toward the debris trail that we saw? Okay. Well, now that we got that move in, I think Nav and Dive Soup are gonna make sure we got the right coordinates.
Thank you,
Okay,
Rich.
Chris, we're checking on the coordinates right now, and in the meantime, we're going to go to another